In this video, we are going to be looking at hire purchase sums, working with financial maths. So before we get started, just a quick reminder on how we do mathematics. So first of all, make sure that you understand every step as the examples are given. Then it is extremely important to do the questions on your own. And then finally, to mark your answers in order to identify any problem areas. So before we start with the actual sums, before we're going to look at a mind map that basically summarizes how to do or what hire purchase entails. Since hire purchase are sums that has a lot of different aspects that we have to keep in mind as we go along doing the sum, so it's just easier if you have a mind map that you can use. Now the first thing that they give you, especially with hire purchase, we are looking at something that we are buying and then want to pay it off over a specific period of time. So that's like buying a TV or buying a couch, anything in that line. Now the first thing obviously is the cost. Then normally when you buy or purchase something, you also have to pay a deposit. So the deposit is normally given in a percentage of the original cost. So after you've paid the deposit, then you can work out what amount is remaining. So you take your cost, you subtract the deposit because that's now what you already paid for, and then you have a cost that remains that you still need to pay off. And that is the amount that you normally take, and you work out interest on that amount because that's the amount that you're going to pay off over a specific period of time. So then you'll have the amount plus the interest that you work with, and that amount is what you're going to divide with a specific set of months. If you want to pay it off over 2 years, then you take your amount plus the interest and you divide it by 24, for example. Then another thing to take into account is you can be given any additional costs that can come along that you have to pay monthly, and these are like insurance that you need to pay off with your amount plus the interest. Now, two things they can ask you. They can ask you also what is the total amount that you paid at the end of the day for everything. So then you'd have the deposit because you paid the deposit, then the amount plus the interest, and then the additional cost. So those are if you take the sum of all those, that is your total lump amount that you paid at the end of the day. So that is then the total cost. And they can also ask you what is the monthly cost or the monthly payment. Now the monthly payment is going to be the amount plus the interest plus your additional cost. That's your monthly payment. It does not include the deposit, obviously, because that's just a once-off payment right at the beginning. Now, in order to remember this or to make this a bit simpler, we can just write it out as C for cost, D for deposit, AR for the amount remaining, then the amount plus the interest, then the additional costs, and then we have the total cost, and finally the monthly payments. Right, now for example 4, Divan buys a laptop that costs 12,000 Rand. He pays a 10% deposit and takes out a 24-month hire purchase loan on the balance. Interest is charged at 11.5% and a monthly insurance premium of 70 Rand per month is required. Calculate A, the amount that Divan actually paid for the laptop, and B, Divan's monthly repayments. Right, so let's take out our mind map. Now the first thing we can see, the cost that's given is 12,000 Rand. So we can make a note here. The cost is 12,000 Rand. The deposit is 10%. So to work out the deposit, we take our original cost, 12,000 Rand. We multiply it with 10 over 100 because it's 10%. And then if we work that out on the calculator, So that gives us 1,200 Rand. Okay, so 122,200. All right, now the amount remaining. So that is what the original cost was. We already paid 1,200. So the amount remaining will simply be the original cost, 12,000, subtract what you already paid, and then you have, do we work out that? Then we have 10,800 that he still owes. Right, so that's the amount remaining. And that's what he's going to pay over a period of 2 years. So now we have to take this amount, and to get the amount plus the interest, we must add 2 years worth of interest. And with hire purchase, we always use simple interest. So the formula for simple interest, A equals to P1 plus I times N. And we substitute in our values, 10,800, 1 plus. Now the interest is 11.5% interest. So 11.5 over 100. And for 2 years, or for 24 months, which is 2 years, we just times by 2, because our N must always be in years. And then we work that out. So this gives us 13,284 Rand. So the amount plus the interest is 13,284. Right, and then our insurance premium counts as an additional cost. Now just keep in mind that this 70 Rand is per month. So in total, the additional cost is actually going to be 70 times by 24. Now for A, it asks us the total amount that Divan paid for the laptop. So the total amount, our total amount will obviously then be the deposit, and the deposit was 1,200 plus the additional cost, and plus the obviously the big amount plus the interest. So that's going to be 13,284. That's going to be paid over a period of 2 years, plus every month we pay 70 Rand, so 70 times by 24 months, and that is going to be the total amount. So that is 16,164 Rand. And then B, Divan's monthly repayment. So the monthly repayments is the amount here, which is the 13,284, and he's going to pay it over 2 years. So that means we divide it by how many months? By 12 months. So we take the 13284, we divide it by 24 months, and then also what is paid for monthly is that insurance premium. So that's just the 70 Rand that's already in months. So then we can work out how much he pays per month. So per month he pays 623 Rand and 50 cents. Question 4.1. Manette buys a TV set on hire purchase agreement for 8,000 Rand. The loan must be paid off over 3 years with equal monthly installments at an interest rate of 9%. She had to pay a deposit of 20%. Right, now our mind map, the original cost, that's going to be the 8,000. Then the deposit is 20%. So it's going to be the original cost, the 8,000, times by 20 over 100. And working that out. Is 1,600 Rand. So this is our deposit, 1,600. Now the amount remaining after you paid your deposit, or after she paid her deposit, is the original cost minus what she already paid, and then that would leave us with 8,000 minus 1,600 is 6,400. Right, so 6,400 is what she's going to pay over a period of 3 years, but we still first have to put interest on that. So amount plus the interest is then again the simple interest formula, and substituting that in 6,401 plus. So the interest is 9%, so that's 9 over 100 times by the amount of years is 3 years, and then just typing that in. So this gives us 8,128 Rand. Okay, now we can see there's no additional cost, so this is just going to be 0. So the first question says, determine the total amount you paid for the TV set. So we know our total amount will then be the deposit that was first paid, plus the amount with the interest that's going to be paid over 3 years. And then there's no additional costs, so this is basically what we add up to get the final amount. And that gives us 9,728. Then for B, we have determined the monthly installment. So the monthly installments would obviously be the amount with the interest divided by the amount of months she's going to pay it over. That's 3 years, so it's going to be 36 months. There's no additional cost, so all we're going to do for the monthly installments is going to take the 8,128 divided by 36 months, and then that is what she's going to pay every month. So that is 225 Rand and 78 cents. And then for the final question C, now how much would she have saved if she bought the TV set for cash? Now obviously if it was bought for cash, it would have been just 8,000 Rand straight, but what was her total cost? Her total cost was the 9,728, and the original amount was 8,000, so we're just going to subtract the 8,000 to see what's the difference, and then we can work that out. So this is actually just going to work out to 1,728. So 1,728. Yeah, so that was then how much she would have saved. So then for question 4.2, a young couple buys furniture for their new home. The furniture costs 28,000 Rand. They have to pay a deposit of 10%, and they pay for the furniture using a hire purchase loan. the interest rate is 12% per annum over 4 years. Calculate the monthly payments if there is no insurance premium. Right, so our mind map is there. We have the total cost as 28,000. Now the deposit is going to be the 28,000, and then the percentage, there's deposit of 10%, so we're going to times it by 10 over 100. And that leaves us with 2,800. Okay, now we have to find the amount remaining. So if you already paid 2,800, the amount remaining is then going to be the original cost minus what you already paid for, 2,800, and type that into the calculator. That leaves us with 25,200. Okay, so 25,200. Then we need to take that amount now. That's the amount that that the couple wants to pay over 4 years, but now we have to put in 4 years worth of interest. So the amount with the interest will be simple interest, as we know, 1 plus I times n bracket. Substitute these values in, so 25,200, we have 1 plus the interest rate is 12%, so I'm going to say 12 over 100, and the number of years is 4 years, so we just type that into the calculator once again. And that leaves us with 37,296. Okay, so over here, 37,296. Okay, now there is no insurance premium, so this is going to be 0. And the question said calculate the monthly payments. So the monthly payments will be this cost here divided by how many months. Monthly payment will be the total amount that they now owe with the interest, 296, divided by 48 months, and that will then leave them with R777 to pay each month.